It's New Year's Day, 2024. Bayside Marketplace is in chaos. Hundreds of people are pouring out of the open-air mall. They're shoving past each other, scrambling into the street. Sirens are already wailing. Within minutes, more than 60 police cars line Biscayne Boulevard, lights flashing, 6 blocks of traffic shut down. A mall is supposed to be the most forgettable place on Earth, but they keep showing up in stories no one can fully explain. Disappearances, urban legends, mass panic. The official explanation out of Miami is simple. A group of teenagers got into a fight inside the mall. They started throwing fireworks at each other. Someone called 911 and reported an active shooter. Police flooded the area. 4 juveniles were arrested, ages 14 to 16. Case closed. But then the videos start circulating. Someone films the scene from across the street. In the clip, a tall gray shape moves between the police cars and the building. It doesn't walk like a person. It's too tall, too thin. It almost seems to glide. Another video shows what looks like a massive shadowy figure near the mall entrance. Again, too tall. Elongated limbs. An outline that doesn't quite make sense. Within 48 hours, Miami Mall is trending worldwide. So is the word Nephilim. In the Hebrew Bible, Nephilim are mysterious ancient giants, or fallen angels, depending on who you ask. Millions of people are watching the same grainy clips frame by frame, trying to figure out what they're looking at. More than 10 witnesses come forward. They say they saw 3 figures exiting a clothing store inside the mall. Not regular people. Something else. The witnesses describe them as slender and humanoid, somewhere between 9 and 10 feet tall. One person says they appear to be phasing in and out. Another says their hands and feet weren't visible, like they were floating instead of walking. Miami police push back fast. A spokesperson insists the supposed creature in the overhead footage is just a person and their shadow. If you look at the bottom of the shadow, you can see the person, they say. No creature. Another clip, they explain, just shows 3 officers walking side by side. The department's public information officer puts it even more bluntly in a statement to local news. There were no aliens. No airports were closed. Nothing's being withheld from the public, LOL. The denials don't slow anything down. Accounts flood social media with claims that the government is scrubbing footage from phones and wiping videos from the internet. The theory of Project Bluebeam picks up thousands of new believers overnight. That's the idea that the government has holographic technology to stage fake alien invasions and seize control of a terrified population. And still, nobody can produce a single clear photograph. No high-res video. No physical evidence of any kind. Just the same handful of blurry clips, watched millions of times, showing shapes that could be anything. The teenagers were real. The fireworks were real. The panic was real. But what people saw inside that mall, or believed they saw, remains an open question. It's October 10th, 1961. A married couple stands in the grand court of San Antonio's largest shopping mall. A high school band plays. Shrine clowns work the crowd. Then an attack siren rips through the building. The couple rushes into a sealed concrete shelter beneath the mall. A heavy door slams shut behind them. They won't come out for 2 weeks. This isn't a nuclear attack. It's a promotion, but the fear behind it is very real. San Antonio in 1961 is one of the most heavily militarized cities in the United States. Lackland, Randolph, Kelly, Brooks, Fort Sam Houston. 5 major military installations in a single metro area. Soviet war planners probably have the city circled on the map. Residents know this. Civil defense officials estimate that if the bombs fall, San Antonio has about 18 minutes to find shelter. So when Wonderland Shopping City opens that September, it's enormous. 650,000 square feet, 62 stores, 5,000 parking spaces. But what it advertises most proudly is something few shopping centers could boast, a fallout shelter. At the time of its opening, the mall still operates segregated restrooms and water fountains. But when the bombs come, everyone shelters together. The couple seated inside are Sidney Ward, an air traffic controller, and his wife. They've been screened by civil defense. Their shelter is stocked by mall merchants promoting their wares. Canned food, water drums, a battery radio tuned to Con Elrad, the emergency frequency. If the bombs fall, that signal tells you when it's safe to come out. When the water drums are emptied, they double as toilets. Every day, the wards phone in to the local KNES radio station. Every day, the city listens. After 14 days, they walk out healthy and smiling. The crowd cheers. But the real question hangs in the air. Could you actually survive a nuclear war inside a shopping mall? San Antonio desperately wants the answer to be yes. A year earlier, the city breaks ground for a new hospital. The ceremony opens with a simulated nuclear blast, an actual explosion launched from a military helicopter. A mushroom cloud of TNT and chemicals rises over the construction site. Speakers tell the crowd that this will be the only medical facility in the area safe from radioactive fallout. The crowd applauds. But 2 years after the wards emerge from their shelter, San Antonio learns what a real explosion feels like. On November 13th, 1963, something goes wrong at Lackland Air Force Base. The storage bunker at the Medina Annex is packed with 209 partially dismantled nuclear warheads, 123,000 pounds of high explosive components from obsolete weapons. One of them ignites, then all of them do. The blast leaves a crater half a football field wide. Windows shatter 13 miles away. Children at the base elementary school think World War III has started. Across the city, people pour into the streets and stare at what they swear is a mushroom cloud. No nuclear detonation occurs. The radioactive cores had already been removed. But for half an hour, nobody in San Antonio knows that. 8 days later, President Kennedy arrives in the city. The next day, he flies to Dallas. The mall is still there. It's called Wonderland of the Americas now. The shelter is long gone, converted to storage. Today, shoppers walk right over the spot where 2 people once waited out the end of the world. A concrete room built for annihilation, buried beneath a place called Wonderland. It's a Saturday evening in May 1985. The stores inside the Aurora Mall in Colorado are closing. A security guard notices a woman wandering alone. She's brown-haired, mid-20s. He asks if she needs help. She does. She doesn't know her name. She doesn't know how she got there. She's carrying almost nothing. A Toyota keyring, a pack of cigarettes, an empty notepad, and one book, Watership Down, a novel about rabbits fleeing destruction to find a new home. The guard walks her through the parking lot. They try the key in every Toyota. None fit. Police find no wallet, no ID. They check her into a mental hospital as Jane Doe. More than 1,000 miles away, in Tacoma, Washington, her co-workers at the News Tribune are asking a different version of the same question. Where is Jody Roberts? 5 days earlier, Roberts was a crime reporter at the News Tribune. She's 27, sharp, relentless. But something's been slipping. She's grown moody, unkempt. She's behind on rent, battling depression. She's told her therapist she just wants to take off and run away. On May 20th, she walks into a bank and empties her account. Then she's gone. Her editors find her car in a parking garage downtown, a few blocks from the Greyhound station. But nobody connects the missing reporter in Washington to the woman with no name in Colorado. 2 police departments are unknowingly working the same case. At the hospital, doctors give her sodium amytal, so-called truth serum. Under the drug, she recalls fragments. A sister named Anne, a brother nicknamed Shorty. She can sing the Brownie song, but the details are slightly off. Close enough to be real, too scrambled to be faked. The diagnosis, psychogenic amnesia, triggered by a life-threatening situation. After 4 months, they release her. She picks a new name, Jane D. She picks a new birthday, studies Russian at the University of Denver, then moves to Alaska, marries a fisherman, has 2 sets of twins, builds a web design business from a trailer on the coast. For 12 years, Jody Roberts is feared dead. Then, in 1997, a detective reopens the case. A woman in Alaska sees the coverage and calls police. She knew this woman as Jane D. A detective reaches D by phone. Asks if she's ever heard the name Jody Roberts. She says no. He asks if she wants to know who she really is. She says yes. Jane D has never recovered her memories from before arriving at that Colorado mall. She gave one interview, then never spoke publicly again. She's been Jane longer than she was ever Jody. Her family believes something happened in those 5 blank days. Something bad enough to make a mind erase itself. The only clue she carried out of her old life was that novel, the story about creatures fleeing everything they'd ever known. She was clutching it when the guard found her, alone in that mall. No name, no past, nowhere to go. A woman in Texas falls asleep and wakes up somewhere else. Not another city, not another country, a mall. It stretches in every direction. There's a food court, an amusement park, an airport, staircases that lead nowhere, floors that aren't supposed to exist. The layout shifts around her, but somehow she knows exactly where she is. She's been coming here for years. Her name is Jessica Tilton. She's 32. And one day she decides to draw a map of the place she keeps visiting in her sleep. She posts it on TikTok. She expects maybe a handful of people to find it interesting. The video gets over 1 million views, because thousands of strangers are saying the same thing. I've been there too. They call it Mall World. The details vary, but the similarities are what get under your skin. People who've never met describe the same sprawling food court, the same looping escalators, the same abandoned storefronts with merchandise still on the shelves. Warm amber light, everything frozen in time. One person says it smells like their kindergarten classroom. Others describe apartment corridors stretching into infinity, staircases that go up and never stop. These dreams aren't new. Some people say they've been having them for 20 years. But now, thanks to a subreddit with over 10,000 monthly visitors and a flood of TikTok videos, they're all finding each other and realizing they've never been alone. So what is it? Some point to Carl Jung's collective unconscious, the idea that all humans share a deep layer of the mind filled with universal archetypes. Others believe it's a form of astral travel, that the dreamers are actually leaving their bodies and meeting in a shared space. There's even a theory linking it to the CIA's MKUltra mind control experiments and the gifted and talented programs of the 1980s. But scientists aren't buying any of it. Dylan Selterman, a dream researcher at Johns Hopkins, says there's no evidence for telepathy or a collective subconscious. Malls are places almost everyone has visited. Our brains build dreamscapes from existing memories. Similar environments produce similar dreams. Millions of people independently dream about their teeth falling out. Recurring dreams affect 60 to 70% of adults. They surface during stress. Dream theorists call them scripts. Once the mind touches any part of the theme, the full sequence plays out. Selterman raises an even simpler possibility: social contagion. Someone posts about dreaming of a mall, other people absorb it. Their brains do what brains do. The more people talk about Mall World, the more people visit. But here's what the science can't fully explain. Many of these dreamers say their Mall World experiences started long before the internet, long before they had any reason to think anyone else was dreaming about the same thing. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe the brain just recycles familiar spaces, fluorescent lights, the floors, the faint echo of pop music somewhere in the distance. Or maybe tonight, you'll close your eyes and find yourself standing in a food court you've never visited, in a place that doesn't exist, but somehow feels like you've been there your whole life. A woman steps into a fitting room on the 4th floor of a shopping mall in Manila. She's a movie star. She's here on a film shoot, changing into a costume. It's nighttime. The mall is quiet. Outside, people are staring. But inside the fitting room, she's alone. Or so she thinks. Within days, a rumor spreads across the city. The actress fell through a trap door. Beneath the mall, she came face to face with something. A creature. Half human, half snake. She escaped through a tunnel that led to the hotel next door. The Gokongwei family, who owned the mall, paid her 850 million pesos to keep quiet. None of it is true, but that doesn't stop the story from spreading. By the time anyone tries to correct it, it's already one of the most famous urban legends in Philippine history. The mall is Robinson's Galleria in Quezon City. It opened in January 1990, but the legend predates it. The Gokongwei family is Chinese-Filipino. It started with a corn mill. By the 1980s, they're building malls across the country, expanding fast, drawing suspicion. In 1985, they open a department store in Cebu. Almost immediately, rumors begin. The family's wealth comes from a creature, people say, the Snake Man. The twin of Rabina Gokongwei Pei, the family's eldest daughter. It lays golden eggs. It lives in a hidden room beneath the store. When Robinson's Galleria opens 5 years later, the story mutates. The Snake Man no longer just exists. It hunts. It watches people through one-way mirrors in the fitting rooms. When it finds one it likes, a trap door opens. The actress dragged into the legend is Alice Dixon, Miss International Philippines 1986. She says nothing for 30 years, and that silence is what keeps this whole thing alive. An early television report shows shoppers refusing to enter Robinson's fitting rooms without a mall employee beside them. Business drops. Staff call it a PR nightmare. In 1991, Rabina Gokongwei Pei makes a public offer. She'll hand over the entire mall to anyone who can prove the Snake Man exists. Nobody collects. But the legend doesn't die. In 2012, a blurry video claiming to show the creature's mummified body goes viral. 1.2 million views. In 2014, the horror anthology series Shake, Rattle, and Roll turns the myth into an episode. The actress they cast as the mother of the snake creature is Alice Dixon. She finally breaks her silence in July 2020 in a YouTube video. Nothing happened, she says. She changed clothes in the bathroom, went back to set, and a few days later, the rumors started. That's all there is to it. The comment section fills up with people saying she's been silenced. In January 2025, ahead of Chinese New Year, the year of the snake, Rabina Gokongwei Pei posts a photo of herself posing with snake decorations at a Robinson's mall. She's smiling. The trapdoor never existed, but 35 years later, people are still looking for it. Have you ever dreamed of Mall World? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching Dark 5. Like and subscribe to continue exploring the greatest mysteries of this world and beyond.